This video will describe Indian cuisine and how it has influenced us here in Australia. India is located in southern Asia and is the seventh largest country in the world. Looking at India on the world map, it shares borders with Pakistan to the west, China, Nepal and Bhutan to the northeast, Burma and Bangladesh to the east and Sri Lanka to the south. It has the Indian Ocean on the south, the Arabian Sea on the southwest and the Bay of Bengal on the southeast. The capital city of India is New Delhi. In the early 19th century, a small number of Indians arrived in Australia as convicts transported by the British colonial government in India. Others arrived as labourers with British subjects who had been living in India. In the late 19th century, more Indians came seeking work, mostly as hawkers and agricultural labourers. They were made welcome because India was a British colony. By 1901, the Indian-born population of Victoria was almost 1,800, and the White Australia policy was introduced that year, restricting further Indian immigration. The Indian-born community in Victoria increased significantly after the end of the White Australia policy in 1973. The history of Indian food tells us that during the reign of the British Empire in India, the British Raj, the local cuisine was considered by the Europeans closely to what gods taught of ambrosia, a delightful, heavenly and delicate dish. When the British army set foot in India, their cooks were dazzled by the sheer number of variations of the same dish. India's main religion is Hindu with 82% of the population, followed by Islam at 12% of the population. Christianity falls in third largest at 2.5%, and Sikhism at 2%. Other religions such as Buddhism, Jainism, and Judaism make up the other 1.5% of the population. Religions make up a large portion of the culture of the food. Hindu and Muslim are the two dominant religions that have influenced Indian cooking and food habits the most. With each migrant of settlers, they brought with them their own cooking methods. The Hindu vegetarian culture is widely practiced. Muslim tradition is the most dominant in the cooking of meat. Some example of foods include rich kormas, which is a curry, and nargisi kaftas, meatballs. The biryani, which is a layered rice and meat dish, were also made by Muslim settlers in India. Multiculturalism and immigration has contributed to the development of a diverse cuisine. About half of the people eat rice as their staple, while the remainder survive on wheat, barley, maize and millet. Muslims, Jews, Sikhs and Christians all eat meat, with that the first three groups do not consume pork. Lower caste Hindus eat any meat except beef, whereas members of the higher castes are normally vegetarian, with the most even avoiding eggs. Around 650 AD, Hindus began to worship a mother goddess. Cows were sacred to her, and so Hindus stopped eating beef pretty much completely. About the same time, Indian scientists invented a way to make sugarcane juice into sugar cubes, so more people began to eat more sugar and sugary desserts. Spices and tea became some of the new addition in the existing cooking valuables. The northern part of India became influenced by the central part of Asia continent, mainly Pakistan, Bangladesh and Persia, giving rise to the fusion cooking of Mughlai cuisine. Among the contributions of this fusion cuisine is the addition of several seasonings like saffron and the inclusion of new cooking practices. Bhuno is a combination of sautéing, stir-frying and stewing. Dum literally means steam. It's a method of cooking food on very low flame. Baga is also known as tempering in English. India has a large variety of exotic dishes. Some examples include butter chicken with chicken pieces, usually breast or thigh, cooked in a cream and tomato sauce, usually served with saffron rice and or naan bread. Chicken tikka masala is a dish of roasted chunks of chicken in a spicy sauce. The sauce is usually creamy, spiced and orange-coloured, similar to butter chicken. Beef korma is a variation of the traditional Indian korma and is one of the dishes that have been altered. It is not usually served in India, as beef is a sacred animal and is not usually consumed. Naan bread is like pita bread, and is usually leavened with yeast, or with bread starter. Unleavened dough is also used. Naan is cooked in a tandoor, from which tandoori cooking takes its name. The majority of festivals observed in India are associated with particular cuisines. Traditional recipes handed down over the years are enjoyed all over the country. One of the festivals is Holi, and it's a large festival celebrated in India and is known as the Festival of Colours. Family offer it to all the visitors. Kanji ke bari are thin lentil patties special to Holi, as is pari, an unleavened bread. Sweet dumplings are also served, which are filled with koya and dried fruit called kajuyas and are served as a dessert. Another celebration is known as Durga Puja, and it's a large Bengali festival celebrating Shakti, the mother goddess. It lasts for more than a week. Bhog, a proper meal, is offered every day during the week of the celebration. Parts of the meal include moong dal khichdi, a mixture of dal and rice, kara kachari, a concoction of vegetables, tomato chutney, and payesh, an Indian rice pudding. As we can easily conclude, the Indian cuisine is closely related to the Indian history, each historical region developing a new unique set of dishes using diverse ingredients. If you can appreciate the fact